Well, hello there, everyone, on this marvelous Monday, August the 7th, year 2023, right? August 7th. Yeah. As I realized last night talking to a guy, I forget what day of the week it is sometimes because every day is a Saturday to me, or Monday, or Tuesday, Wednesday. You don't work, it's hard to keep the days straight. That's why it's cool to be finance independent. Where am I? Where are you at? What day is it? What time is it? Just joking around. Anyway, as always, I want to talk about a topic I've been thinking about a lot recently, and I think a lot of you might be interested in this. I want to talk about the possibility of owning some vacation rental properties. Okay, vacation rental properties. So with that being said, I am Mazske Finance, coming to you at the moment from South Florida. And as always, my little disclaimer, I am not a CPA. By no means at all am I a CPA. I used to do my taxes. I no longer do. I'm not a lawyer, even though I was a cop and I worked with a lot of lawyers. And I am not a financial advisor, even though at one time I did work for the Motley Fool dealing with stocks. But I'm not a financial advisor. I'm also not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not an engineer. I'm nothing at all. I'm just blue collar Mazske, the little guy, like that little guy right up there. I'm the little guy who's enlisted in the Navy. And I went from making peanuts, both in the Navy, and kind of good money in the Navy, to peanuts in the police department, and now I'm a multi-millionaire. Take that for what it's worth, because it's not that hard to do. Any of you can do the same as me. Before I get started on vacation rentals, check out my playlist. I have a playlist called 0 to 25 Rentals, and I outline in 3 or 4 videos exactly how I went from 0 rentals to 25 rentals in just under 4 years. I also have a playlist on credit cards where I've traveled extensively outside the US and inside the US over the last 4 or 5 years, almost entirely for free, all because of credit cards. And I also have another playlist called Interview with Others. I have interviewed some fantastic folks out there, all kinds of people, from folks who have never bought their first rental, folks who live in the country of Panama, folks who have hundreds of rentals, folks who have 2 or 3 or 4 rentals, and so on and so on and so on. I've talked to a banker, Jerry Padilla. He can give a mortgage in almost all 50 states in the United States, and so on. I have other playlists. I have a playlist about moving to Panama, and so on and so on. But anyway, before I forget my topic, I'm going to talk about vacation rentals. If you've been watching my channel recently, you've heard me mention moving to the country of Panama. You've heard me mention the possibility of selling my little chateau here, my castle, my home in South Florida. It's not a castle, it's not a chateau, it's just Mazke's humble home. It is on the water. It does have a swimming pool. It does have a 2-level dock with a tiki hut, and it does have a boat lift. The boat lift has 2 brand new motors in it and 2 new boards on it. Okay, the dock, 2-level, is great for launching kayaks or even canoes. The tiki hut is a 12 by 12 tiki hut. I currently have 4 nice, very nice Adirondack chairs from Highwood. I think it is Highwood Company. They're located in Pennsylvania. Pretty nice, pretty nice. There's power down to there. I got a fan, really nice $500 fan on that dock. I have LED lights there. I got a water line I ran down there, so I got a water hose down there. Someone lives here and gets a boat, there's water down there to spray their boat down. My swimming pool is resurfaced, so it has a brand new concrete surface with glass water line tile. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you this because this house I'm living in would make a great vacation home. Think about it. You live somewhere where you have cold winters. You want to take a vacation. Where better to come to than South Florida? Winters here are absolutely beautiful. The temperature depends on when you come, upper 70s, low 80s. Humidity is non-existent. My AC very seldom runs in the wintertime. Sometimes I go weeks or a month without it running at all because the temperature is just about perfect. Okay, I do plan to get a pool heater that way, because when it's winter, the pool water might dip down into the 70s, low 70s, even the upper 60s. And you can see videos of me after I've swam, where one time I swam when it was 67 degrees and my bones got a little sore because it was cold, because that's cold water. When you're swimming in it, it's not like you're going to the ocean in the summertime when the temperature is 95 degrees and the water is 67, like it was at Ocean City, Maryland when I was a teenager. because then the sun is hot, the air temperature is hot. When I was swimming at 67, the air temperature was probably 70. So that was a chilly day. So anyway, with that being said, vacation rentals. You can get vacation rentals literally anywhere, anywhere at all. Why do I say that? I say that because you have, I think it came about during the Great Recession, a website out there called Airbnb. You got another website that came, I believe, after it called VRBO, and there's another one called Booking.com, and there's probably even more sites above and beyond that. Before I moved out of Virginia, I was looking at Airbnb because there were Airbnbs in the small town I lived in Virginia, and we weren't necessarily a vacation place. Yeah, some tourists came there, but tourists go everywhere almost, don't they? If you want an Airbnb catered to tourism. Other people have Airbnbs. There are Airbnbs everywhere, probably every town in this country almost, and around the world. And VRBOs are everywhere, and other rentals are everywhere, short-term rentals and long-term rentals. Okay? But South Florida, Florida in general, and other spots in the United States and the world are very conducive to being short-term vacation rentals. Think about it again. My house, if you could come to Florida, South Florida, for a week or 10 days or even the whole winter, like 3 months, and spend it in a house with a heated pool, 2-level dock, and a tiki hut. Maybe I'd provide kayaks here. I might charge a little bit for them. And so on. It's a nice place. But with a vacation home, you still got to run the numbers. Remember, I've talked about running numbers. When you buy a rental house, you got to hold out money to pay the mortgage, property, your principal, your taxes, your interest, and insurance. I know I was forgetting something. You also got to hold out money for vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures because your house will be vacant. You still got to pay the mortgage. You got to do repairs. The sink starts leaking. You got to do capital expenditures. It needs a new roof. It needs a hot water heater. It needs a pool heater. Big, high dollar things. You got to do those. So you got to save money for it. Okay. But yet, what I see happening here in Florida is there are a variety of vacation homes here. I've met a variety of owners. Okay. A lot of them who have vacation homes live in the north somewhere, and they buy it because they're working a job. They buy it and they rent it out to help them to pay the mortgage, and then they come here periodically throughout the year. Two different neighbors I've talked with, 2 or 3, do that two do that I know of. Other neighbors I know of are snowbirds. They own houses in the north. They come down in the wintertime for maybe 6 months and then go back to the north where they own a house. They're retired. Okay, so they just have 2 houses. So there's a variety of people that do that. I'm just talking about my neighborhood, just people I've met. There's another gentleman I know, he works still. He has a house down here. He has a boat. He has a swimming pool down here. He does not rent his house, so he has enough money, to pay his mortgage, I guess, or maybe pay cash. And he doesn't rent his house. But with my dream, my glasses keep slipping, it seems like. I need to get them adjusted. My goal is to move to the country of Panama. Panama is a lower cost of living area. So if I could move there and if I could rent this house, and in the wintertime I would make more money than I would in the summertime. Okay? But over a course of a year, if I could make enough money that I could cover my mortgage for the year, all 12 months, to pay the mortgage, I'd have to pay the electric bill, I'd have to pay the water bill, probably the internet bill, have to pay all that. The pool maintenance bill, the grass cutting bill, the bush trimming bill, I'd have to pay all that stuff too. So I'd have to pay all the expenses here basically. But Airbnb or VRBO, I'd be bringing in income, right? So now it becomes an asset. Now, would I make enough to justify it if it was a long-term rental like I buy elsewhere? Maybe not. I wouldn't have the same cash-on-cash return, okay? What I would have is a luxury type home in South Florida that, to do this, I would have to rehab it on the inside. See, I've talked about work I've done to the outside. On the inside of this house, I've put in 2 new commodes, I put in 2 or 3 new faucets, and a couple drains. I had to replace sink drains because they crystallize because of the water here and the way it is. They just, over 20 years, I had to replace them. I've done some other minor work in the house. I forget exactly what, just little things. But it needs to be painted. It needs new furniture. I got furniture from the guy who sold me this house, and the furniture was probably old when he put it in here. So it's old furniture. It's quality furniture. It's good furniture. It's solid. Like this bookshelf behind me is solid wood. Furniture I got out there was couches and chairs and stuff like that. So as they get old, you don't really keep them. Solid wood. That desk over there, this behind me, my master bedroom set, king size bed, solid wood. It's a nice bedroom set. So the wood, like this room, I think we would make this a bedroom. I could put a set of bunk beds in here. This is a fourth bedroom in the house. So this could become, if it was an Airbnb, this could become a bedroom. We would put a table somewhere else where someone has a laptop computer, and especially if they come for the winter and they're working remotely, they could work at the desk or the table. That could go in the master bedroom or somewhere else. Okay, so this house is a possibility. It does need some work. I'm estimating $40K maybe, 40, 50K to do the work to fix it up, to get it ready. Because I gotta buy a pool heater. I may make it a saltwater pool too. So I gotta spend a little bit of money. I had a realtor years ago, around the time when I was looking for my first rental house. She made a comment to me while we were looking at a house, and it was something to the effect of that at times you need to spend money to make money. Because we were looking at a house that needed work. And I remember it was my triplex. That's what it was. Because we knew it needed work. And that's why she said sometimes you got to spend money to make money. Because when you have a rental property, sometimes you got to spend money. You got to bring it up to rent standards. It can't be a slumlord. You got to bring it up to rent standards. But then rents will increase accordingly. Okay? So if I put this house right now as it is, as an Airbnb, would I make any income? Probably so. People would still come, but they wouldn't be knocking my door down to come. But they would still come. I'd still make some money. But if I rehab this house and put better floors in it, painted the entire place. It's all one color right now. Paint the trim, paint the outside of the house, get a pool heater, make it a saltwater pool maybe. Replace some of the fans, even though they're very nice fans, they're old. Replace some of the fans with very nice new fans. And just some few tweaks, change the knobs in the kitchen cabinets, put them a different color, maybe change the countertop, do some tweaks like that. So I spent a little chunk of money. What's that do? It enhances it, so maybe it'll rent a little better for a little bit more money. But also, if I decide I want to live here, well, now I got a nicer house to live in. So, can you do the same thing? That's the point of this. Can you do the same thing in your choice, your vacation spot? If you every summer travel to the beach in the same location, year after year after year, could you buy a condo there? Could you? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the prices where you go to or nothing like that, or what the property management fees are. Could you buy a condo or an apartment or a single family home that maybe you come in for your normal 1 week or 2 week vacation, but that you rent other times of the year? And maybe then because you own it, you go periodically throughout the year. Maybe you do it in a mountain home. I knew a lady that let me stay in her cabin in outside of Pigeon Forge in Tennessee, the Smoky Mountains. And that's what she did. She rented it. It was a vacation rental. But then she liked that area. And Dollywood was there and just the mountains, Smoky Mountains. She would go there, a couple times a year because she owned it. But then she would rent it other times a year to help her pay the mortgage. Okay? You can do that all over, no matter where you live at. If people go, even up in Gary, Indiana, where I buy a lot of real estate, there's a beach up there. It's Lake Michigan. It's a very pretty beach. There are Airbnbs up there. I've debated turning one of my rentals into an Airbnb. Who knows? A vacation home. Who knows? Those winters get cold up there though, but people still might come. So think about where you live at. Think about if it could be a home that you could retire to in the future. If it's straight up an investment, just an investment, you never will live there, you never plan to live there, you never want to live there, it's just an investment, then in my humble opinion, you really need to run your numbers, make sure you have the cash reserves. Because vacation homes, do get wear and tear. They do get damaged. There could be storm damage that you need to pay for. So you got to have cash reserves. You need to run your numbers and hold out that money for vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. I preach that, don't I? You got to hold that money out. Okay? So let me know what you think in the comments below. I should have said this in the beginning. Let me know below where you're considering getting a vacation home, if you like this idea or not, if you already have vacation homes, and just what do you think? And thanks so much. I'm on a quest to get to 700 subscribers. If you can share my channel, encourage a friend, family member, coworker, somebody to subscribe, it'll help me on my quest to get to 700. All right, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for everything. Thanks for being an investor. By investing, all of us can help to make this world a better place. So with that being said, Mazske is signing out.